We're on. We're on. We're on. We're on. So you say it really doesn't matter. So you say it really doesn't matter. Today is January the 12th. I wrote these notes, rewrote them twice. On 12:30, I started the little notes. This is the third. It's a couple times I'm doing YouTube doing notes. This is not my normal thing here. I mean notes, but reading from something, it's just not my thing, man. But you gotta do what you gotta do because I can't remember all the stuff, so you gotta write it down. But anyway, most people who don't like for things to be changing the traditions of men, they don't want you to bring up and touch a nerve. Uh, you know, Then they come up with the race car. They come up with all type of stuff, and it's not about that. It's not about this. It's not about that, and it doesn't really matter, etc., etc. And this is a ploy. It's a ploy to take away from the truths. It's a ploy because it definitely matters. Because I'm gonna read the notes late. Coming up in the Renaissance period, it definitely mattered. So, so you say, who's the you? It ain't me. Say it really doesn't matter when they're presented, confronted, trapped, cornered off, can't get away, history, scripture, etymology way. They can't get away. They're stuck. So they say it doesn't matter. They just get all, get all edgy. But why you get, anyway. So you say it really doesn't matter. Well, we're going to find out through some quick stuff here to see if it really does matter. This statement is what one hears when the topic comes up on the real ancient Hebrews, aka Israelites. Were, and still is. Were, and still is. Look at it. As soon as I do this, here comes the... I'm telling you, I can't get away from this, man. So that's when it usually comes up. So they say it doesn't matter. When that's, guys, I'm upstairs in a little dining room area here. So, it's Friday night. It's New York City, sirens. It's cold, so I shouldn't hear no motorcycles. So this statement is what one hears when the topic comes up on the real ancient Hebrews, aka Israelites. Were ancient times and still is. The descendants. It doesn't matter. I just want to talk about him being saved and he loves me. The cry from this statement comes from all peoples. White people mainly. Well, yeah, that's a racist statement. It does come from them mainly. Because they don't want they don't want that stuff to be changed. No way. The white folks, white Christians, even white people who ain't got nothing to do with religion, but mainly white Christians. Oh, they start shaking. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm not talking from experience, unexperienced. I'm talking for experience over at least 12 years in conversation with people of faith, of white, mostly. There are few sprinkled blacks, as we like to use the word. They like to use the word blacks. Not too many Hispanics in that particular area where I was and still can go in and blah, blah, blah. All right? They cry from this statement comes from all peoples, white mainly, black Christians, Hispanics, etc. We ain't not going to hear about Japanese, Chinese, people from India that are believers and they claim to be believers of Christian. And believe me, they would do it too. Because anything, as long as they stay away from that black and brown child. I don't care who. Man, please. We're not going to have that. All right. Next little arrow I got. So I'm going to be reading off my little notes here. So bear with me. Because history of the real Israelites has been whitewashed by the groups of the people who tried to keep the truth under wraps. Because history of the real Israelites, aka Hebrews, not Israelis, have been whitewashed by the groups of people who tried to keep the truth under wraps. Keep it down low, Yeah, it's nice that you feel that way. You just looking for this, and you guys need to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not going to use some other words because I'm so sick of trying to discuss and explain some of the stuff that's been installed in some kind of scripture which is not there. And it's to the at this point right now, I'm worn out from just trying to. I'm just worn out from the foolishness. It's really sad. It's pitiful. Two verses usually come up when they say it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Usually the two verses that come up, that pop up. I'm not reading the verses. If you watch this YouTube, you get your translation out and you read it. I already know what it says. 1 Timothy 1:4, Titus 3:9 are used to try to negate the history of the whitewashing of the black/brown Israelites out of ancient times as well as now. These two verses are usually used. That's your homework on those two. You got two little verses, two little homework verses. That's it. Yeah, I already know the verse because I always use them when I already know that. Because I always use them because that's what they're there for. Tell us this, don't deal with this. When people say it really doesn't matter and they get upset as well as angry, bitter, why does this happen on this topic if you say it really doesn't matter? When people say it really doesn't matter and they get upset, man, they get livid as well as angry, bitter. Why? Bitterness or bitter. Why does this happen on this topic if you say it doesn't really matter? Because it matters, all right, baby. It matters, all right. Oh, heck yeah. You can say it doesn't matter all you want. That right there shows it matters. I mean, it'd be fight words. It'd be separation. It'd be don't care about what you is. I don't care about you. I don't want to get started with the Christian. They don't care what you is. You out of there now. You bring this topic up. Amongst blacks too. Not just whites. I told y'all it says black, Hispanic, white, etc., etc., etc. It's not just white folks. For you black folks that watch this. Because black folks, we done found out in a couple of weeks. I ain't get a chance to get to the nitty gritty, but I watched a couple of YouTubes. I challenged a couple of people that never responded, but they get angry. They get upset. They get bitter. They don't like somebody taking away people from being the of the book. And I'm talking about blacks. Oh, child. Oh, yeah, he talking about white people. No, I'm talking about, I almost says a word that my mom supposed to be saying. Not a curse word. Got you. So it really does matter. It really does matter, don't it? Yeah, because you wouldn't get upset if it didn't matter. All you do wouldn't, why should I wait so quick? That doesn't matter. He told me to just, leave that alone. Those two verses. 1 Timothy 1:4, Titus 3:9. And if you got some better verses on it, you can type it in a comment and give it to me. So I can use it when I'm talking to people on the job or talking to people in the street or talking to whoever. Friends on the phone or whoever. In the Renaissance period, oh boy, here we go. It mattered enough for sure. In the Renaissance period, that's in the 1400s, around there. Look up the word Renaissance period. Do some homework. Come on. It mattered enough for sure. It mattered in the Renaissance period. Why? What are you talking about? What is the Renaissance period? I put key big next to that sentence. Because why? Ooh. Here we go, folks. An image of a man named Cesare Borgia, or Borgia, or Borgia. Well, you pronounce it right before you put it on the thing, man. Cesare Borgia. A painting. A painting went throughout the world of a white man. Whoa, what are you talking about? See, That's bigotry. That's racist. No, I didn't paint the picture. That's the picture that's been portrayed for the last, I'll give y'all 550 years, whatever. Around that time. 526, 527, whatever it is. And then that picture of this white dude, I don't know why I can't say white, because the picture's white. Wait, they'll reverse that thing. See, he said white guy. Wait, the picture's white. What you mean I can't say it? The picture's white. If it was black and it was white people, if it was a white D.I. me doing it, y'all he'll say it was a picture of a black guy. And they teaching he was white. It'd be the same. Tell you folks crazy. So a white man, so-called, supposed to be the Mashiach. I put it like that purposely. Supposed to be the Mashiach. Absolutely false. This picture represents it matters to the people who say it really doesn't matter for sure. This picture of this man, who they copied a picture of a person living named Cicely Bow. Father was a pope. I don't want to say too much, man. I don't want to go. So it did matter. So when you say it don't matter, you better go do some history study, because it would have been you should have painted a picture back in the days, a transparent picture, if it didn't matter. Woo-wee. Should have just made an outface of a diagram of a picture of a head and a body with no mustache, no hair, if it didn't matter. But they didn't do that. They put some texture, they put some skin, and let us know where this person is from, what he is, who we think he is. And then he represents the person who they change to this Jesus word. This picture and others over time of this white man whom whom Christianity called Jesus. This painting, everybody knows. If you watch this YouTube, this probably ain't nothing new to some of you folks who hang around this type of neighborhood with this type of topic. I ain't putting up no pictures. I don't know how to do all that stuff yet. Boy, y'all better watch out. If I learn how to do all of that. I was looking the other day on how to do all that stuff on YouTube. When I figure out how to do all that stuff, oh my gosh. Who Christianity, not the Israelites. Uh-oh, I messed up again. Who Christianity, not the Israelites, called Jesus. So please don't tell me that it doesn't matter when a painting went out through the whole entire modern day time world in the 1400s, proclaiming this particular man, easy to look up, easy to punch up, easy to find out about, has been portrayed as the Mashiach. Throughout the world, through Christianity. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. I didn't do it. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. Come at your faith, religion. Not your faith. What am I talking about? Come at your religion teachers. Put it that way. Come at them. Come at them. Don't come at me. I don't care if you come at me or not. It's part of the territory. It is what it is. I mean, come on. I wasn't there in 1400. Say, yeah, paint that, Michael D'Angelo. Get up there and do that. Let's go. Let's go. I wasn't there. Wasn't even born. Y'all wasn't born. None of us were born. Please. So all Christian movies. Oh, next slot. I call it a slot, whatever. Next slot. All Christian movies about scripture of the Hebrews. I'm using the Hebrews. I ain't using the word Jews. Jews are for Jews to use. Oops, I messed up. All Christian movies about scriptures of the Hebrews are white. All scriptures about the Hebrews since the 60s to 2024. Movies. White. I think one time when I was doing my notes, I was thinking one time I think they did a show on Netflix that had Samson with dreadlocks or whatever, like mine or whatever a dark skin dude. I think one time. So because I thought about somebody saying, "Oh, you're wrong." They put them, the Solomon, that's Samson, and they showed him as a black guy. Why are you gonna show Samson a black guy? But all David white, this one white, but then you take one guy and make one guy of it. All Christian movies about scriptures of the Hebrews are white. All, not some. I would say 99.6. That one movie, I believe it was Solomon. I didn't ever watch the movie, but I just seen it when they did it. I was like, whoa, wow, look at that. They made a mistake. They used the wrong actor. Or maybe they knew the truth and they said, you know what, we got no choice, man. We're getting busted. All white men. Adam, Noah, because they spell it different in Noah, Masha, dude, aka David, Solomon, Joseph, Daniel, Miriam's mother, and then the disciples in the New Testament, New Covenant of the main one of all, Yahusha. Ooh, y'all ain't seen no black Yahusha movie made in Christianity through Warner Brothers or anything else. Have y'all yet? Have we seen that yet? A black Yahusha. Well, you know they ain't gonna give it a name Yahusha, so. Black Jesus, silly. Have y'all seen? I don't even watch these movies, so I ain't got time for this nonsense. I ain't got time for it. Yahuwah says, even though we are going back down to the images of Renaissance period, blah, 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 blah. I got slots I call. I got little arrows next to little sections. So this is what I'm doing. This is the way I got to do this YouTube. Yahuwah says no images. None. N-O-N-E. None. I said, who says that? Yahuwah. The Most High. El Shaddai. No images, none. Explanation point, none. And guess what? That means white, black, brown, yellow, and then I put olive, LOL. Because I was told 9, 10, 12, 11 years ago, he's olive. Talking about Yahusha. He's olive because they were presented with the truth and they were hit. Mainly, mostly white Christians were hit, stopped. And they're all my bodies. Most of them. My bodies. But when that topic came up and they were stuck and cornered, it just doesn't really matter. It just doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. That make me laugh. Oh, because he's olive. Leviticus 26:1. No images. Deuteronomy 5:8. Isaiah or Yashayahu 42:8. Those are just three. I ain't running all the verses. I like when people do their own homework. No images. None. But in the Renaissance period, some religion called Christianity decided to put up an image of who they say and call Jesus and put an image up. Yahuwah said no images. Israelites didn't put that up. Believing Gentiles, Israel, whatever way you want to go about that, they didn't do that. The religion of Christianity did that. Under Catholicism. Because they're going to say that was Catholicism, that wasn't us. You call yourself a Christian. Then get rid of the word Christian under your, you don't have to have a label. You ain't a can of soup, you ain't got to have a label, dog on it. The biggie comes from the Maccabean period. The Maccabees, the Hebrew brothers, which was taken out of some translations. But if we go digging and keep searching, find out something that will blow your mind. And I should have put an underline under that. First Maccabees, chapter 3, 48. Excuse me. We don't use that, sir. We don't use that. That's not inspired. Who said so? The Christian? Ah, shucks. First Maccabees 3:48. The heathen. Well, oh my gosh. This is calling the people who's doing this heathens. So if the Christian is the one who painted the pictures and supported this picture, according to the Maccabee book, he's calling them folks heathens. And folks, I didn't learn this tonight. I didn't learn this last week. I didn't know this stuff yesterday. This stuff, man. First Maccabees 3:48. The heathens sought to paint. My goodness, my gosh. Sought to paint pictures of their images. Wait, of their images. The heathen. So if the Catholic painted the picture of their images, this white, wait a minute. This is the only, this ain't nowhere said like that except First Maccabees 3:48. Outside of having no images in Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Yeshayahu 42:8. This verse says it even worse. Then I notice more in other places. I notice more. But the First Maccabees 3:48 is a killer. Paint pictures. Who has done this? In total against Yahuwah's commands not to do. And from a prophet, Yeshayahu. Oh, we don't follow. I ain't telling you follow the Torah in that matter like that. Just because I said his commandment. He said don't do it. He said when you get to the new covenant, okay, you can start painting pictures now. Okay, everybody get the paint and the markers out. What are you kidding me? No pictures, none. N-O-N-E. I don't care if you are. Oh man, what did I do? Oh goodness, I hit the thing, flipped over the camera, flipped over. I blacked out my own self. It's almost on my thing here. My little, oh man. Sought to paint pictures of their images, keywords, heathens. Images, ouch, this hurts. Or likeness. Painting the pictures of their images or their likeness, the heathen sought to do this. First Maccabees 3:48. If you don't have a Apocrypha, get one. Look it up. Get one. Rewind this YouTube. Get you a Apocrypha online or whatever. Go on your Christian Publication Bible. They ain't gonna have a Apocrypha. We don't have that, sir. You're gonna ask it, cause sir, I can't find a Apocrypha in the lane. Or what lane? Listen to me. In the aisle. We don't have that. Go online, folks. Read the 21st. You know, online. Get your Apocrypha. First Maccabees 3:48. Let me hurry up now. Continue. 22 minutes. That ain't too bad. Christians have never. Oops, my goodness. Christians have who have never did what? Because you the ones have to do this, according to the way I see it. I ain't got to do it because I don't. Please, I ain't do it. Christians have never denounced the images. Because there's more than one painting. Got a couple of them, but they're all similar to the same. Woo, wait, I got a Thompson Chains reference Bible on my bookshelf over there. Boy, and it got 19 pictures in it. I used that back in the days when I was studying. I had translations everywhere. Oh, and I said, look at this. Look what's in the middle of this thing here. Look what's in the middle. 18 pictures in the middle of a translation. And Leviticus talking about have no images. And here it is, the book. No images. But Christianity has never denounced. And that means white. For sure enough, I know you ain't going to do it. And the blacks. Christians. Hispanic, you ain't getting away. You haven't done it either. Never denounce those images. You may not look up to them, may say it doesn't matter. I bet you don't say it doesn't matter when you're looking up praying and seeing it everywhere. But let me stop, man. That Yahuwah said none at all. Why? This is not just the white Christian, the so-called black Hispanics never been done in their religion. What I'm going ahead of myself saying stuff, didn't even read the note. It's never been done. I ain't never seen it, please. Oh yeah, well, we don't have any pictures up in our center. Okay, great. But you still ain't denounced the pictures in other places and teach on it. I don't care if you don't have it in where you go. I don't care if you don't have it where I go. We don't have that. Denounce it. Teach against it. So maybe somebody else who follows you and who believes with you and who's a Christian, maybe they go and pass the word down. Wait a minute, we don't supposed to be having this. And then oops. Somebody else gonna say, wait a minute, hold on. You might get escorted out. Bigotry, racism is still a major problem for you Christians. Oops. Not all, but most. Not all, but most. Racism, I ain't gonna use, I said bigotry, racism, prejudice, etc. I shouldn't use racism there because that comes with power. But bigotry, prejudice is still a major problem in the Christian religion, but not all, but most. White Christians will say it really doesn't care what color he was. White Christians will say it really doesn't matter what color he was. Well, then 14, the Renaissance period, obviously it mattered what color he was when they went and put that thing in front of everybody's face around the world. That picture of that man, Cicely Beau, as we call him for short. Cicely Beau. This sounds nice, but it doesn't address the lies. It really doesn't matter about the color of who he was and his hair or whatever people want to fight and debate over. It sounds nice. It sounds polite. It sounds respectable, but it doesn't address the lies from your religion. Not at all. It doesn't address the issue. It just covers up to keep it moving. Keep it moving. The so-called black Christian can't really stand up about the whitewashing. It's unchristian-like. I'm going to read that part again. The so-called black Christian can't really stand up about the whitewashing. It's unchristian-like. The rest of the people try to say out of laughing out loud being Christian. The rest of the people say the same thing. It really doesn't matter. And they Christian, Hispanic, Chinese, French, Italian, Mexican, Irish, India, whatever. They're going to say the same thing. It doesn't matter. Next year. Until all images are gone. It's double tongue saying it just doesn't really matter about AKA color. Until all images. You think the TV and the movies going to get rid of crazy Derek. Boy. No images, none it says. No images, none it says. Then comes Yahusha. Then comes my next little line slot. Then here comes the point they say. Then comes Yahusha loves all people. That's the next way to negate and keep it going. I'm going to smile because that's what they smile. Yahusha. Because they ain't not going to say Yahusha, they're going to say Jesus. But I say Yahusha. Then comes Yahusha loves all people. We already know this. The ones who are bringing up some issues. We already know this. So what are you telling me that for? What are you saying that to me for? That ain't got nothing to do with that. Or this. Ain't got nothing to do with the context of them mistaken stuff that was done. Isn't that being fair? Mistaken. This has nothing to do with whitewashing the ancient Israelites down to Yahusha, saying he loves everybody. Nah. I heard that amongst my faith-believing European, Hispanic in another area outside of YouTube say that. I heard it. Still friends with him. Didn't hate him. Still friends with him. But it's just don't want to own up to it. I can't. It's too much. I can't do it, sir. I'm sorry. That's why he's olive. Can't be black or brown, but he's olive. But when you watch a movie, you don't see olive. You don't see a description of olive. What's the man did the movie Passion? What's the name? This guy did the movie Passion. It wasn't olive. So this, That's it. This line, I almost, did I write lie? No, this line of it really doesn't matter, flies matter is false. It doesn't hold weight at all. So this line, when you hear people say it really doesn't matter, and you start studying and learning and blah, 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 and you get a little conviction and start saying, wait a minute, it does matter. It does matter. Not on your salvation. Ooh, let me put that in here because that ain't on my notes. Because that's where they come up and say, it's not a salvation issue. It doesn't matter on your salvation. But it does matter on lies. It does matter on what Christianity did. It does matter what Christianity keeps covering up or try to keep. And it does matter and say it doesn't really matter because it does matter when you get angry, bitter, and etc. Bam. Once again, I'm not a racist. Ooh, here's the next slide. Once again, I got to say this now. After saying all this, all right, see, I told you this person. Once again, I'm not a racist, bigot, I ain't even using the other word because it's just so silly. Against no one. Never was. Never will be. My parents didn't raise me that way when I wasn't even confessing to be a believer. Never was, never will be. Don't matter what someone try to play and do the reverse psychology because of the scriptures like a two-edged sword, not DEI is a two-edged sword. The scriptures like a two-edged sword, cutting asunder the mold, the soul, the bone, the marrow, etc. If I quoted it right. Never was, never will be. So that's not going to work. If you make a comment and say, never was, never will be, that's because you're being convicted. Yeah, you're being hit by the Ruach HaKodesh. So then you play the game of reverse psychology racism. That's how this works. Truth doesn't turn into hating people. It helps you to help people of all races, not just your own race. My. That's my own quotes, folks. That's not somebody I got that from a book. No, not that one. That's my own stuff. Sitting around thinking like, man, say something to try to help them right. Truth doesn't turn into hating people. The scripture says truth shall set you free. Hating people, it helps you to help people capitalize all races, not just your own race. Well, we don't have race anymore. He doesn't see us through that anymore. He does. He sees your heart. But we're different races of people on this planet. Silly folks. What are y'all trying to play that card when it comes to the truth about history? Then it's not about who you is. This is I've heard the Acts was the 1726. Come on, man. Galatians 6:16. Woo, oh God, I'm touching now. That's Acts 17:26. Galatians 6:16. Those two verses are used to eliminate the race or races, but we're not talking about racism of the Hebrew Israelites. Those two verses are used to distort and get rid of the scriptures as well. Those two verses, Acts 17:26, Galatians 6:16. This is to negate, to deploy, because we don't want to deal with the facts of truth because they black or brown/brown. Oh, heck no. So we figure out a way, we got to find a verse. I watch YouTube Christians I believe with on other stuff to a T on use that verse Galatians 6:16. I don't see another person use that on the YouTube. I'm watching guy trying to use the Acts 17:26. And I'm just sitting there like saying, but I know why, baby. I know why. Come on. We know why. Both coming from a Christian. Because you really can't talk about that like that. And if you do, you better not have somebody over y'all in your like y'all part of a I don't want to use no name of these things. They may try to sue you or something. Please, you won't be doing too much more teaching. You won't be doing too much more. Here we go. Oh, here we go. The verse. Everybody knows this verse. The last little one. The truth shall set you free, because truth matters. The truth shall set you free, because the truth matters. Folks, this quote of so you say, it really doesn't matter. You say it. The scripture says it matters. Yahuwah says it matters about images. Christianity says black, white, Hispanic, whatever, whoever, it doesn't matter. Using certain verses, I gave y'all two that I read out. 1 Timothy 1:4, Titus 3:9. Then I didn't even have the other two verses came to my thought. Acts, I believe it's 17:26, Galatians 6:16. These four are used. This ain't the first time I've been around, I've heard them. Please, if we can sit around and talk about stuff with mature minds and not calling people each other's names and getting all, fleshly and racial and prejudice and calling people names, and people can sit around and discuss stuff, those four verses will definitely be used. They would definitely be used to try, and I say try to negate the facts and truth. Because the facts and truth shall set you free. Well, so you say it really doesn't matter. You say it. Whoever that may be, you say it really doesn't matter. I say it mattered because there was some things that were made up to justify a lot of things that happened in history to go do what certain people did in a sense of doctrine of discovery, colonialism, and etc. This stuff was purposely. And if you wasn't meant to be, they would have made no images, of this particular guy, Cicere Bourget. You can look that whole stuff up on Netflix. It's right there. You can punch it up on your phone. I mean, come on, man. It's just enough is enough already. You can't keep hiding with the blinders on like a horse thing, talking about I can just look straight and say, it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. So it just doesn't matter. There's a guy that does a YouTube. His name is the YouTube is called We Are Woke Now. In the beginning, he plays a thing later on in some of the YouTubes, and the people are screaming, it just doesn't matter. I watched it not too long ago. That has nothing to do with me doing this YouTube. I've been known about just doesn't matter for 12 years ago. So the point of the matter is, it is what it is. Now, I supposed to be getting to some foundation stuff on the book of Genesis all the way down. But it seems like, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, it's too much. You do stuff hoping with the best of hopes, but it's so hard for folks to give up stuff, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that give up is, too. That's true for everybody, including me. It's just, including me, it's just, it is what it is. And people, it's rather just, let me just, I'll make sure I ain't got no more notes. Okay, 2 pages. That's enough anyway. It is what it is. So, folks, I don't know. I may come back with something. I was out sick dog on it. So now I'm home. What's this, Friday night? I just want to say, listen, I hope you folks, whoever watch this, I hope you take things seriously. I ain't doing YouTube to try to get something off my chest like I'm mad at somebody or something. I can't, I despise stuff when somebody lied to me like that. If I lie to myself, deceive myself, and do something like that, then I'm taking it, man. I gotta take it. But when somebody do this and then use the scriptures of truth in the book and then tell me it doesn't really matter. I don't care what your pigmentation is, man. You black as my cover of my phone. I don't care. Or white as this envelope. Ain't got nothing brown. I ain't gonna put on something brown and put. Doggone it. It doesn't matter. Truth is for all of us. Truth hurts everybody. And it don't take back. It's not an Indian. Ooh, let me listen to Indian giver. It's not that. It comes and does what it does. It hopes that it is never will come back void. We need to stop playing this game, making this quote, saying it just doesn't matter, is a bunch of baloney. Hebrews like guys get mad. Why you mention baloney? The point of the matter is you got to stop it. That game is over. That game is over. That statement of it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Those days are over, folks. But if you want to keep on trying to run that line, so I can just quote that and walk away, straighten my shoulders, let me just keep it going. Yeah, okay. It ain't gonna work. Giving a heads up now. Especially somebody who knows a little something. Study a little something. If they know that First Maccabees 3:48, you better watch out. First Maccabees 3:48. If they know that, like I know it, and plenty of others know it, Christianity don't know it. But boy, woo, my goodness. We ain't never was taught that verse back in the days in a church or building or whatever you want to call stuff. We ain't never heard that. Never. Gosh. When I ask people now, Christians, they look at you like, what? What are you talking about? Where you get that from? What? Are you sure? We don't use that. That's not inspired. There's so many problems. I ain't the fixer of the problem neither, shoot. I'm just blending in with everybody else with certain things, man. And just blending out with certain things as well. But anyway, folks, there you go. There you go. All right, there you go. So you say it just doesn't matter. Boy, that's a fibby. That's a fib. Because it does matter for sure. You better bet everything you got in Vegas. We don't go to Vegas. Yeah, I know. It does matter. And it always will matter. Truth will always matter. Take care. And I'm going to say what they say. Not what they say, what it says. Shalom, peace. Because I know after this ain't that much peace. But peace.